On this video, I would like to read Isaiah 40, at least part of it, holding it maybe to 10 or 15 minutes, just reading the text with an English translation and a New Testament application. We might call this great text in Hebrew with English translation and New Testament application. And that's what I would like to just do, to keep busy at my Hebrew. So Isaiah 40 reads, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami, Yomar Elohechem. Comfort, comfort, my people, says your God. Notice this section begins with comfort. And Isaiah is wanting to comfort those in exile as they're looking forward to coming out of Babylon. Dabru el lev Yerushalayim v'kir'u alecha ki mala'ad seva'a. Speak unto the heart to Jerusalem, and call unto her that her time of service is accomplished. In other words, she has gone through a hard time, and she's paid double for her sins. So now he's going to bring her back to Palestine. So ki nirsa avona ki lakacha miyad Adonai kiflayim bechol chatoteha. Tell her that her guilt, or for her guilt, is paid off, for she has received from the hand of the Lord double for all of her sins. So she paid for her sins, and now the Lord is in Babylon, and now the Lord is going to deliver her and bring her back to the promised land. Kol kore bamidbar panu derek Adonai yasharu ba'arava mesila le Eloheinu. That is, a voice is calling in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord. Make straight or plain in the desert, in the Arava, a highway for our God. So we're seeing a highway stretching, as it were, from Babylon back to Jerusalem. And the Lord is going to take the exiles into this highway. And the highway here is a metaphorical way of speaking of how God is preparing like a road, not necessarily a literal road, but a road to bring them back. And we know that this happened under Cyrus. Verse 4 then. Kol gay yenase v'chol har v'giv'ah yishpalu v'chaya ha'akov lemishur v'harachasim levig'ah. That is, for every valley shall be lifted up, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and the steep or the rugged place shall be made for a plain, and the rugged places shall be made level, and the rough places to a plain. So every hill and every valley, valleys will be lifted up, hills will be brought down. So every obstacle is being removed to prepare this great highway that the Lord is going to deliver his people. V'nikla kavod Adonai v'ra'u chol basar yachdav ki pi Adonai diber. And notice, in the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. This is going to be a glorious time when God brings Israel back from exile. And basically, all flesh is going to witness that deliverance, Isaiah is saying. And so we move on then in verse 6. Kol omer kera ve'amar ma ekra, kol habasar chatzir v'chol hasdo ketzitz hasadeh. Hark, or a voice is calling, proclaiming, or we could say a voice or hark. One is saying, call. And he said, what shall I call? And then the answer is given, all flesh is grass, and all of its goodliness as the flower of the field. No matter how powerful the Babylonian captivity, the Babylonian kingdom might be, what he's saying here is all flesh is like grass. And to God, it's not an obstacle. And so he continues, Yavesh Chatzir Naval Sitz, Ki Ruach Adonai Neshava Ba, Achen Chatzir Ha'am. The grass withers and the flower fades, because the wind of the Lord blows upon it, or the breath of the Lord, looking at the Sirocco wind blowing. So the grass is going to wither. Surely the people are like grass. Anyone that would stand in the way of the Lord's deliverance back from Babylon to the promised land would be like grass. And notice he says, Yavesh Chatzir Naval Sitz, Udavar Eloheinu Yakum La'olam. That is, the grass withers, Navel, and the flower fades, but the word of our God stands forever. What a beautiful phrase here. The grass withers away. People that would stand in the way of what the Lord is doing and bringing about this deliverance would be like grass. And the grass withers away, the flower fades, but the word of our God stands forever. And there's a principle here that I think can be applied today in life. Everything withers, but the word of the Lord remains. I was thinking about, as we're getting older, and I'm speaking of myself and those my age, having turned into my 80s, 81, it is true that you don't have the strength that you had 40 years ago. And that's true of everybody, no matter whether they were athletes or whatever. And all of us fade like grass. But the good news is the word of our God abides forever. Al har gavoa ali lak, mevaseret Sion ha rimi behoa kolek, מבשרת ירושלים. הרימו על תיראי, אמרי לערי יהודה, הנה Elohim. That is, the one who is declaring to Zion, get up unto a high mountain and call. The one who is giving good news to Jerusalem, lift up your voice. Do not lift up your voice with strength, and do not be afraid. Say to the cities of Judah, behold your God. It's looking at the Lord bringing this deliverance And it's like a messenger, a divine voice saying, look what your God is doing. And I'm reminded in the New Testament that this voice was applied to John the Baptist. How that John was the voice crying in the desert, preparing the way of the Lord. And he's going to describe now how the Lord is going to come. I'm going to stop there because I want to I want to hold these to about 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, where we're reading the Hebrew, translating it, and doing like running comments through the text. So we'll stop there. The New Testament application is applied to John the Baptist, who is preparing the way for the coming of Christ in the New Testament, for the new, can I say, deliverance that Jesus brings through our faith in him, taking us out of the bondage of sin and delivering us into the blessing of his eternal kingdom.